What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 10. I believe this is episode 10. Yes, episode 10. Now, I don't know what the title of the episode is because they didn't have it on the guide, so I can't tell you what the episode name is. But before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys are not already subscribed to the channel, then I'm going to need you guys to do me a solid favor and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell button, hit all the buttons, light them up on the channel. And with that out the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the episode review, shall we? All right, you guys, let's go ahead and talk about this episode, shall we? Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, right? Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is technically not Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It is basically Love and Hip Hop melting pot. Love and Hip Hop melting pot, because I realized what it has been. I realized in this episode why I've been so against Love and Hip Hop Atlanta lately, right? It's 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 the storylines. Like, you guys introduced us to 3 new people, but you don't highlight them on the episodes. These episodes are centered, which there's now, see, when they center an episode around Kirk and Rashida, when they center an episode around, when they have Kirk and Rashida in a scene, when they have Carly and her, like when they have them in the scene, it's okay. It's cool, because that's who we've been looking at. That's who we've been watching for years on Love and Hip Hop, right? Atlanta. But then when we get the likes of Erica Mena and Safari and Yandy and Mendeecees, it's like, this is technically Love and Hip Hop New York. But you know, that's where it is for me, following them. So let's talk about. So we're in Dubai, right? So Yandy and Mendeecees, their kids, they have the kids there, right? And then Infinity and Little Mendeecees show up, and Yandy lets us know that Infinity is going to be in the wedding. We're going to talk about that wedding, because that dress that Yandy had on, beautiful, but damn, I know you have to be hot, right? So then we see Sierra. She and Eric, they in their room, right? Sierra's whole thing, I mean, Sierra is still talking about wanting to have a baby with Eric, and I'm like, Sierra, pump the brakes, right? Get to know this, really get to know this man. That's my thing when it comes to Sierra. Like, really get to know this man and fill him out before, like, and I get her saying she doesn't, you know, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about her a little later as well. But I get one point that she made in this episode. I get it. But the baby making thing, let's go a little bit slower, right? But they've already got a house, so shit. Why not? Why slow down now, huh? So then we see them, you know, we see a few of them. They went dune bashing in the desert, in the sand. Child, it wouldn't have been me. I just, you know, especially if I had ate the way that they were getting bounced around and shook around in that car, absolutely not. So then we see that Yandy is having a desert barbecue that night, right? That she's put together. Here go another person from New York, Jonathan. I was like, oh my God. But I'm like, you know what? It's only a few. It's only probably gonna be like, this is probably gonna be the only episode we see Jonathan in, because you guys know how I feel about Jonathan sometimes. I can't stand the screaming that Jonathan does when he's on Love and Hip Hop New York. I cannot stand that damn screaming that Jonathan does. But he's there to do Yandy's makeup, and he's going to be, you know, be at the wedding. So then Yandy and Carly, they go to the side and talk, right? So you guys know with Carly and Mo did that PPP loan, and he's in, you know, is he in jail? I think he's in jail. But you know, Mo did that PPP loan, and when it hit the blogs, Carly's name, I will give it to Carly. Her name was attached to that shit, right? Carly Red's husband, or Love and Hip Hop star Mo married to Carly Red. Like, her name was attached in when you read those blogs, her name was there, and even with pictures, you would see a picture of him and her. So I got where she's coming from, right? And this is their conversation that they're having, right? Carly said that, you know, with that stuff, with Mo's legal issues, people started coming at her. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up, right? But I get why people came at her. You're his wife. You're on this hit reality TV show. people know that you got some kind of money. So if they want their money, if they don't think they're gonna get their money from him, let's go up after his wife and get the money from her. And that leads Yandy to talk about her situation with Mendices, right? So, I don't think Yandy is wrong at all for what she did, right? I'm never gonna sit here and fault Yandy for what she did with Mendices. About the fact that the thing that for me with Yandy is, you guys had that big extravagant wedding. What was that? Who was that? The question that I then have is, who was that big extravagant wedding for? That's the only question that I have. Who was that wedding for? Was it because if you and Mendices, well, hell, if you went to the courthouse, you'd be legally married, right? Why not just have a commitment ceremony, right? Instead of having this big lavish wedding, let's just say we're gonna like just say, hey, right now with all his legal issues, with his child support cases and all that kind of shit, and if he has restitution, we don't know what's gonna happen with him. Instead of me putting myself on the line, on the hook for that, let's have a commitment ceremony to one another, right? We're committed to one another. Which, years later, she did come back and try to say that they had a commitment ceremony, but this was after you had that big ass wedding. So she's upset about as in her interview with the producers, she was upset. I'm like, I don't think anybody's really talked about your marriage as it's fake. I think more so what people call you fake. That's what I think the issue is. People call you fake, not your marriage. And like I just said a few minutes ago, I don't fault Yandy at all. The thing for me with Yandy is not an open book. She doesn't have to be, but if you're on a reality show about and you're talking about your life, shouldn't you be a little bit more open than what she is? That's my thing with Yandy, right? And Yandy. So yeah, what the fuck is that in his car? Oh, it's a bike. Where we at? So yeah, I just wish Yandy would be a little bit more open. That's the thing. Never. I don't think anybody. Like I said, I don't think anybody's ever said anything about her marriage specifically being fake. Is like a lot of people have said they understood why she did it. I'm not finna sit here and pay your restitution like with Life After Lockup with Brittany on Life After Lockup. I don't want to pay your restitution. I don't want to pay your child support bills. I don't want to do any of that. So nobody's faulting Yandy. So Mama D and Judy, they show up, right? So then Judy apologizes to Yandy and Mendices, and she starts fake crying. I was like, oh my God. Somebody, she's hurting on the inside. And Mendices was like, Ma, you ain't got no tears. She's like, I'm hurting on the inside. So then the producers asked her, so were you fake crying? She says, yes, I was definitely fake crying. Duh. She says, I was doing it because Yandy will cry first, so I want to beat her to it. I was like, oh my God. So now at this point, Mendices doesn't want to invite Judy to the wedding. He doesn't want to give her the address of where the wedding is going to take place at. Whatever. Let's move on. All right, guys. Next up, let's talk about Carly and Sierra, right? So Carly and Sierra, they were out by the pool, and they're talking, right? Carly is talking about the fact that Sierra has been missing in action. And she's like, yeah, we've been planning to make a baby. Once again, Sierra, slow down, sis. But again, like I said a minute ago, Sierra has already bought a house with this man. Sierra, girl, I hope your name is the only one on that deed. I really do. Just saying. Because if things don't work out between you and this man, y'all gonna have an issue with that house. Hope it's in your name and not his. Just saying. I really hope it's in Sierra's name. Because you guys know I love me some Sierra. I really hope that the house is in Sierra's name. So, but she said she's not rushing. But yes, you are. But if she gets pregnant, she's not going to be upset like she was when she thought she was pregnant by BK when they played that trick on her. That was season 8 or season 9. I can't remember. That was season 9. That was season 9. Yeah. Yes, it was season 9, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, that was season 9 when they did that. Because Shekinah was still there, and I think that was season 9. I don't know, but whatever. We'll move on. So they talk about Yandy and Mendices, but I'm not going to go too deep into it, right? But they talk about it, and I don't know why Missy Red decided to bring that up, but she brought it up nonetheless. Then she talks about her daughter Jasmine, and I love the advice that Sierra gave to her, right? Sierra told her, like, when it comes to Jasmine, you know, you might not like that guy, but she does. And the more that you tell her that you don't like her, she's going to dig her heels in and get more deep. She's going to get more involved with the guy. Sierra says to Carly that with that, you know, it's okay to give you it's okay to give you opinion, it's okay to give you advice, which it is. But ultimately, if he's a bad person, she's gonna have to figure that out on her own. She's gonna have to come to that conclusion, not you, not you. A lesson that I've learned as well. My best friend, love my best friend to death, right? You know, we're like brother and sister. So, her child's father. My best friend wanted to be with him at one point. I kept telling her I could see that he wasn't shit. He wasn't gonna never be shit, and I tried to tell her that. And you know, she would listen. I know, but she just at that time she wanted a family for her daughter, and I got that. Not talking to you. She wanted a family for her daughter, and I understood that, right? But I just voiced my opinion, and you know, they never made it. They never made it as a couple because he was a piece of shit, right? And then you know he's done other things over the years, and you know we've talked about that stuff as well. And you know, and she, you know, me and my mom used to talk about it, like some of the stuff that you know I'm like, but she did this, and my mom was like, you know, she says, and my mom would say to me, she says, I know you love your best, I know you love her, but you know, the thing is, we have my best friend and I, we're open and honest with each other, right? Our friendship is not one where, because you know, you have people who are friends with each other, and you can't tell your friend what you really think and feel, right? Because people get their feelings hurt. That's not our friendship. That's never been our friendship, and that's the one thing I love about my best friend and I, that we can be open and honest with one another. If I ask her for her opinion, she knows that she can give it to me. I'm not gonna get upset. And I can do the same to her. I can give her my opinion, and she's not gonna get mad at me. Minus the one time, but she was pregnant and hormonal. But other than that, we can be open and honest with each other. And there was one instance where I got really upset about something that she did, and I told her, I'm like, you know, and I told her, I'm stuttering. Told her that I'm mad that she did that. She said, I know, Gerald. That's my first name. She said, I know. She says, but what it is for me is I don't want to, you know, talk negatively about him to her. And I said, I'm not saying talk negatively about him to her, right? Not saying that, not saying tarnish her image of what she thinks he is, right? I just want you to just tell her the truth about, it was a Christmas gift. She bought the Christmas gift and told her that it was from him. Did not like that, because he was supposed to buy the Christmas gift, but he ultimately did not buy the Christmas gift. She did it. And that's when my mom says, I know you love her, but you know, she's doing what she thinks is best. And I'm like, I get it. I do get it, but I just didn't like that. I'm like, why? And I think the thing for me is, because I think my problem is, for me, I'm just too blunt. I do kind of hate when people say they're too blunt, because I'm not blunt. I'm just open and I'm just very honest and vocal about my opinions. Now, I will try to, you know, I will try to water things down if I know that the person if the person is sensitive, I will water it down, but I'm still going to tell you my opinion. But, yeah, so in a nutshell, Carly's daughter, Jasmine's going to have to figure it out on her own, basically, right? So then Judy, did not mean to go off on that tangent. Sorry, you guys. So Judy and Mama D, they talking, right? Judy is upset with Mama D because Mama D told Yandy and Mendices that she said that the wedding was fake. Oh my God! And then she uninvites Mama D to the wedding. I'm like, girl, you ain't even invited to the wedding. How are you gonna do that? But my thing with Judy is, Judy. My thing with Judy is, what is my thing with Judy? The wedding, like, stop saying that the wedding was fake because the wedding wasn't fake. The wedding wasn't fake. Nothing is fake about their relationship. They have a genuine relationship. The only thing is not legal on paper. That's the only thing about Yandy and Mendice's relationship. Their marriage is not certified legally. It's not a legal marriage. They have a commitment to themselves and to God. I mean, like Carly said, you have people that have been together for years and you call them what? Common law husband and wife. And Yandy even said, for her and Mendices, they've signed all the documents that really matter, right? Their will. They're in each other's wills. You know, she had, I guess basically what she was saying is she has power of attorney. So if anything happens to him, she can make the decisions for him. And that is ultimately, really, truly what she said. That's all that matters. That is truly all that matters is, you know, that, like, I don't care about it. Like I always say, I don't care about it. Marriage, I don't think that marriage, you know, people try to say marriage is a piece of paper, right? Marriage is not a piece of paper. Marriage is a lot more than a piece of paper. It's the time, it's the love, it's the effect, it's all the stuff that you put into the marriage. The certifying of it, that just makes it legally official. So I'm not gonna harp on that anymore. But I was confused when Judy said she wasn't gonna invite her to the wedding. I'm like, girl, what? Okay. I don't understand why we're putting so much focus on Yandy and Mendices at this point. I don't know why. But Yandy and Mendices at one point, they were talking about, you know, Judy, if they're going to invite her to the wedding, I don't care. So it was at this point that I realized that this show is caught up to itself real time. So we're only a few months behind because this stuff was probably in June or July. Late June, early July. I believe, right? Because they talking about Sierra and Rashida's birthday, and they talking about Gemini season. I'm like, huh? But then also with Erica, we'll talk about Erica in a little bit as well. Good God of hell. So they have a party. The men give, you know, Sierra gives gifts from Eric, and Kurt gave Rashida gifts. That's it. So Mama D talks to Yandy and Mendices and about Judy, putting everything on her. Now, Mendices says that's to be expected, right? But he says he's not going to give her the address. And Jonathan and Mama D both told him, like, that is your mother, right? You know, when you look back on this occasion, you're going to want to have you're going to want to have the memories that your mother was there, right? And I love that, right? Because even for me, like, any milestones that I have now, like if I have children, if I get married, my mother is not here to see that. You know, my mother's not here to experience any of the things that I'm going to be able to experience in my life. Now, my biological mother is here, but you guys know the story. We don't have a relationship, and that's no fault of my own. So I'm just gonna leave that at that. But yeah, definitely he's gonna want her there. So then we see Carly. Carly is just being selfish. That's really all I'm gonna say. Carly is being selfish when it comes to her and Jasmine, but the boyfriend is trying to talk to her, have something with her. So then we see the wedding. Now the wedding. Yandy, that dress was beautiful, but I'm like, you in a desert, like, aren't you hot? Oh. But that's it. We're gonna move on and wrap the episode up because the episode really wasn't much. I don't know how I'm giving this episode so much. But let's move on. Alright, you guys, over in Atlanta. Now, this is the point where I realized that we were caught up real time because so Erica and Safari, they still having their issues, right? Speaking of Safari, didn't he just make a post last week about he was talking about the show, talking about how fake it is, like talking about 6 months he alluding to the fact that he actually knew that Erica was already pregnant at 6 months, which we all know that. But Bambi, she's at her store, right? So she got her 2 kids with Scrappy, and she got Sapphire. You know, they call her Maji, right? She got Sapphire, who is Erica and Safari's daughter, right? Which I was kind of confused as to why she had her, right? But then when her mama showed up and they were talking, and Erica called, I'm like, this is why. You know what? Production ain't shit, right? I just thought about. I was really thinking about that. I really did think about that because I'm literally remembering it now because I think I saw it in the blogs or either I saw on Bambi's Instagram. But when Erica had the baby, the little baby Maji, I believe she was with Bambi at the time. I believe she was with Bambi. So y'all set this up as if oh God, I'm so over this shit right here. But what's her name? Bambi. She's talking to her mom about she and Scrappy, right? She talking about how he complains and with this show in particular, Love and Hip Hop, these people have no problem settling out their marriages, right? For the almighty dollar. Kirk and Rashida has done it for years. But I think they finally stopped selling out their marriage for a storyline. Now we got Erica and Safari. We got Bambi and Scrappy. Hell, even at this point, I believe Ray and Prinky have stopped selling out their marriage for Love and Hip Hop. But Erica called her on FaceTime. She was at the hospital. She was 2 centimeters dilated at that point, and I don't really have anything else to give to this, to be quite honest with you. She hasn't told Safari about the situation. I'm really trying to think about how to. I'm bored. I'm bored. I don't even know what to say. So no shade to Erica, right? But I just don't have the time or the patience for her or Safari at this point. Really don't. This storyline. This is storyline. This is a terrible storyline at that. Do better. Do better. Y'all got to. And Erica, my thing to you is, you had all that smoke for Wendy Williams, right? You had all that smoke for Wendy, but Wendy was getting you, putting you on game. Wendy was telling you what to do, but you told Wendy you will beat her ass the way her ex-husband didn't do it, right? Isn't that what you said to what you said to her? But then when Spice, oh my God, we catching up real time, literally real time. Because I just thought about it. Next week's episode, Spice, her man gonna get into it because she went on Wendy Williams' show. And remember, when Spice was on Wendy Williams' show, she said that Erica told her whatever Erica said. I don't forgot what Erica said, but oh my God, Love and Hip Hop, y'all really stretching it. It's crazy that Miami is 3 episodes in it, and I'm enjoying Miami a lot more than I am Atlanta. And I've always loved Atlanta. But that's the episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. I ain't mean for this to be as long as it is. I don't even know how I made it as long as it is. But that's the episode. Like the video, leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else, and share the video. And until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands. Wear a mask, you guys. Socially, wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. And be blessed, you guys. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Wear your mask.